we're probably safe not facing each other, at least we can just look down.
We all just kind of.
Dang it, I still didn't change that.
I know
It was a
that
long
the
day.
redevelopment commission would like to meet council in a joint executive session having to do with the state. Well, and I, Randy, you had gotten, I sent out an email earlier and kind of tried to figure out, is there a certain day or times to avoid, or could we maybe set it in conjunction somehow with the next meeting here, like right after it or right before it?
We're supposed to have could have a work
Yeah, we could have a
session.
work session on the
What's
9th.
that?
I thought it was already scheduled.
I didn't get enough people that said they were gonna do it. I didn't get it. Yeah, and Randy specifically couldn't.
Yeah, I was
make
gonna
it.
be gone.
Oh.
So, I mean, if we're losing, so that's, and that's, well, that's what.
We could have-
I'm not, scheduling is not my forte. I usually delegate that and I'm trying to kind of do it.
5:30 on the 9th.
Let me-
Spring.
Let me throw that out. Let me
And
try.
then I will be gone the 10th, 11th, and 12th.
Try 5:30 on May 9th.
13th.
I took everything up.
I'll just shoot out another email and see if I can.
Yeah,
Well, I might not shake.
Redevelopment.
Hey, Brock.
It would be with you guys and the redevelopment commission. It would not be a public meeting, it would be an executive session.
Right.
Yeah, we
So-
can either do it after or
Spring,
before.
right?
Well, it may be easier to do it
Well, it doesn't feel like it, but they tell me that.
That's right.
before,
Okay,
so I'm gonna try the 5:30 thing,
okay.
and, I think that's gonna be easier to then open the doors up to the public for a public meeting as opposed to chasing everybody out and saying, okay, well, now we have an executive
I thought
session.
he was spelling my name. I was like, why is he spelling my name?
Hey, boss.
That's his wife's name. We have the same name.
Oh,
Fine.
okay.
Beautiful day.
It's not because of my stomach. Yes. No, don't fill that out.
Hey, Brock.
Name on it.
How you doing, Greg?
I'm doing fine.
It's another beautiful day in the neighborhood. Let's be my neighbor.
It'll eventually be spring at some point.
Not this week or next week.
Not this week or next, I know. And how does my lawn still grow? That's what I'm trying to figure out. I was like,
Miracle Grow.
that's a good- Geez,
It was a little fast. I haven't treated it.
yeah, but it's much more fun to mow at 70 degrees than it is at 40.
Not just ordered rock.
Yeah, right in front of Rock.
There you go. I don't know how to run that. Presidente.
Oh, it's running, just
It's
put
running.
it in the middle of the table.
Alrighty.
Gosh,
Hot potato.
Wow.
trying to herd cats
It's
over
a
here.
little feisty today. Let's bring it. What'd you
I
say?
can't take your
Bring
shirt
it. So let's bring it.
He's ready, he's loaded tonight.
Ready to pledge allegiance.
I got 6:30.
I do too. Welcome, everybody, to the easy.
Right, ready to go.
To the meeting for April 25th of the Town Council. If you'll please stand for the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you. K9, and I assume Gage is,
He just went to get her out of the truck.
okay.
He let her go get a drink while.
Okay. So in the meantime, I'll start with, I spoke with Dirk from IMPA in regards to Mr. Starkey's questions that he had. And Dirk is going to work on either coming up and speaking with, or checking some of the area and working on different protections. So and isolations from that building or his building or other buildings So if there's a problem with electricity, it doesn't affect his machinery. So Dirk is going to be coming up and taking care of that. So in the meantime,
Right?
Look at her.
she's excited. I need to get my camera out. You wanna
People
bring
might
up-
think this is weird, but since she is a police officer, she has to be sworn in as a police officer. We will be speaking for her clearly.
Do you want to bring her up front, or does that work better?
Where do you want her at? Where do you want her at?
Well,
She'll probably put it.
better pictures up front.
Just happy to be here.
Says, I state your name speaking for her name. Stacy. Do you solemnly swear or affirm? Solemnly swear and affirm. That I will support the Constitution of the United States. I will support the Constitution of the United States. And the Constitution of the State of Indiana. And the Constitution of the State of Indiana. Duties. The office of South Whitley Deputy Marshal. The office of South Whitley Deputy Marshal. According to law. According to law. And to the best of my ability. To the best of my ability. Congrats, JC. You understand that?
Congratulations.
Anybody want to get pictures real quick with her? Yeah, don't already have, so you can put her in the truck.
Did you give her her badge?
He has it, but her color hasn't.
Does anybody want pictures?
Anybody want pictures?
Okay. Thank you, Gage. Congratulations.
Thank you.
Congratulations, Gage.
Picture of him.
Good job, JC.
And then we get a picture of, Gage's and family, so we'll just do that once it was over.
I do have one question for Gage.
Yes.
If you walk up on my business, are we allowed to touch the dog? Interact with the dog?
Yeah, so,
Or,
one thing with her, just
Apparently she does.
if you wanna talk, or if you wanna touch her, all that stuff, just from a distance like this, say, hey, you know, is it okay to pet the dog?
okay,
And I'll make sure,
the reason I'm asking is obviously we interact with you on a regular basis
yeah,
and we have dogs.
Yep.
And we like to treat other dogs with permission,
yeah,
of course.
yep, she's, I
I
mean,
don't
she's,
wanna do anything that would be detrimental to her training.
yeah, no, so, I mean, as long as you ask, for the most part, I mean, as you can see, she's friendly. But yeah, if you startle her or anything, come up unannounced, and that's when we'd have problems. So, yeah, if you come up to me, make yourself known, whatnot, you wanna pet her, that's fine. So there's no issues there. For the 95% of the time, she's friendly. The only time she's not is when she's hungry and I haven't fed her yet.
I'm the
So,
same way. I just say-
she lets me know when it's time to.
The last
get
time I petted a police dog, look what happened.
fed. You still got one left.
How old is
She's 16 months.
she? Will she finish training or will you just keep all along keep updating?
She'll never be done training.
Yeah, so we graduated the academy, the 6-week handler course from FMK9, on April 7th. So that's basically the basics and understandings of how to control your dog. She's got the basic fundamentals. And then like I train a lot with the Whitley County Sheriff's Office, handlers as well. So monthly trainings up in Allen County, and it's constant training. So,
She's like
So
every
more
other
than
police
house
officer.
manners.
oh yeah, yeah.
Actually, I don't have house manners, but she's, just like any other police officer.
Well, Gage, on this, and I wanna say this to the council also, because I don't think I've ever said this. But, the joke about the hand thing, if it wasn't for Mr. Van Deventer and his quick thinking, I probably wouldn't be here. Cause he was first on scene. He was first on scene and I think I said something stupid like, this is gonna leave a mark or whatever.
It was something like that.
Yeah, but he coordinated the helicopters and the first response people. If he wouldn't have put his game face on, I probably wouldn't be here.
And you are talking about your.
Yeah.
Your hand,
Yeah.
right?
Absolutely. Yeah.
For those that don't know.
Yeah, when Michael showed up, he was like, and then he put his game face on and his training took over. Got on the radio, got things coordinated, got the helicopter coordinated, got everything done. That literally saved my life.
I'm just glad it worked.
Yeah.
I'm glad, and the hardest part that
So I'm
is
still
getting
here to be a
everybody,
pain in your butt.
get everybody at the scene to coordinate the way to stop the bleeding. That was the biggest.
Absolutely. And I will forever be in debt. Thank
Good
you.
job, but thank you.
Thanks, Andy.
Thank you, Andy.
Thank you, Andy.
Absolutely.
Anybody else have any other questions for Gage or JC? All right, thank you both.
Thank you.
All right, we'll move on to adjustments. There's no adjustments today.
Hey.
Wow, okay. Does anybody else need to bring up any new business?
I don't think he doesn't have a thing for
Oh, he didn't bring his laptop.
I don't know if this falls on new business, probably old business, but, just wanted to make sure we're squared away on the porta potties for garage sale weekend.
Porta potties, there's gonna be one at Whispering, one at Sunset, one at the corner by Carroll's, and one down at LeBrun Park. Did she
And-
call today to confirm?
Yes, but I think we had a slight miscommunication between you and Jenna,
Mhm.
because during the meeting, you said you wanted 3, so we ordered 3. So she's gonna try and get another one.
Yeah,
So,
I thought I corrected her the following day, but.
I don't know,
Okay.
but she was like, did he say 3 or 4? And I was like, well, I have 3, so we don't. She's
Okay.
gonna try and try to get another one.
And will the restrooms at the utility office be open as well, or?
This one?
The public record.
Yes.
Question about garbage. Is it coming in the middle of the night? It's still on Friday?
I think they're coming early in the morning. They're like 5:30 in the
Gordon
morning.
was in this morning. They were talking to us about trash pickup day. And I said something about the garage sales, and he said that they are going to try their hardest to start before 5 o'clock, if not earlier than that, so they can be done by 8. Cause he's like, how crazy does it get? I said, well, we don't go to school because the buses can't get down the street.
Plus all the construction is.
Yeah, and he said they'll do the best they can, and if they miss anything, they could come back, so.
Anything else new?
Not at this time. I thought
Okay.
Mr. Starkey was coming in.
Okay. And any old business?
Yes.
Okay, go ahead.
So we got our new contract from the Whitley County Humane Shelter.
Yeah. I met with her and she explained how the other communities do it, and we agreed on $3,000 to be the cap, and then we would take a look at what we do this year, and then kind of go from there. But we'll try and keep it under. We will keep it under $3,000. But I talked about Cherubusco, and cats seem to be a problem, and she's going to try and work out some way of neutering and spading the cats, and get with someone down here to hopefully cut down on our cat population that's going to the shelter. And she also mentioned there's some repeat offenders that are also going there, so we need to work on that as well.
I know what repeated offenders she's talking about. They've all been cited. We've done all we can legally, so.
Yeah.
But the
So-
cat thing, I love the idea.
So- I understand that it's basically it's a service to the county.
Mhm.
What do they actually charge per animal?
$108.
Okay.
bring in something stray, that's what they charge you.
Yep.
And
Yeah,
do we know
drop
how-
it all.
And how many animals did we have last year? Do we know that number?
Yeah, she gave us a little, I don't have it with me, but.
Why don't they charge us?
If
for
you
bringing
take an
dog?
animal in as a stray,
Mhm.
the town gets the bill for it.
Now, if it's your cat or dog,
Mhm.
they'll also charge you when you pick it up, so.
So we're basically talking about paying $3,000, and then if we go over that, we'll pay the additional 108 per animal.
No,
Oh,
stop.
just
It'll
flat?
capped. It will not go over $3,000. But we will reevaluate it for the following year. So if we find out that we're bringing in, 30 more dogs than what we're paying, then we'll reevaluate that. But with these suggestions of the repeat offenders and cutting down on the cat population, hopefully we can.
So are they talking about maybe littering some strays and letting them roam and maybe hopefully cut down the reproduction rates? Correct.
The problem
Which I
is,
think is a good
you got a few people running a kiddie hotel, and so I feel like it's just gonna keep happening.
That's why you introduce the birth control of having
Oh, I know.
cats fixed so they can do what cats will do.
It's like a cat brothel going on, I feel like.
They did that probably 2017, 16 or 17. They came back and caught a bunch back on Buffalo and did that. And they did for a year or two, cut them down, and then they kind of
She gave me a name of somebody that was doing that.
did that.
Huh?
Yeah, that was good.
So, we'll try that, but, we went through all the numbers of prior years and you could see the increase in the number of dogs and cats who were coming in and, so she was very
It is still slightly more than Busco, correct?
correct. Slightly less than Huntington. So we're it's $7,000 cheaper than Putney City. $1,000 more, sure.
Okay.
So I'll entertain a motion to approve this contract with Shelter.
I'll make a motion to approve this contract.
I'll second.
Okay, there's been a motion and a second to approve 2023 contract with the Whitley County Humane Shelter. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye, opposed, motion carried.
Oh, next, okay. That's you.
Okay, so that's, specifically on the,
You need to look at this.
specifically on the resolution, or do you want that?
Everything, you're just next.
Oh, okay. Well, then in that case, we will start with the roadway inventory. So as you guys know, we've done an in-depth review of every street that you have, and it turns out that there was about 8,000 linear feet of roadway not on your NDOT inventory, meaning that you're taking care of it. It's in your system, but NDOT isn't showing it. You're not getting money for it.
Oh.
So we went through that, and we've done all of the paperwork to make that happen. Part of that involves a resolution, and this resolution basically just says that you know that you've been maintaining these streets and you want these streets into your system, added to your system. Also included in that is some names that were different on NDOT's inventory versus your inventory, or actually signed out there. So for example, NDOT called Pennsylvania Avenue Buffalo Street. So that's just an example of some of the stuff that was just kind of screwy. Finally, another piece of that is that NDOT has the wrong town boundary for you. And so, yeah, your corporate limits are different in that's inventory,
Smaller or bigger?
smaller. So, and some other,
Very weird.
yeah, very weird differences. And if you want to see them, I have a map of what the differences are. But long story short, figure we bundle it all together. We're going to make one resolution that just says that you agree that these are the roads to accept into your inventory. These are the names to change, and this is the proper boundary. Then I'll be able to send all that off to NDOT to get everything certified. And if you want a bigger map.
So
that
we're
map's really
keeping,
small.
as far as the name change, I always thought Pennsylvania started at State and went to Line Street, and then Buffalo started at Line Street and continues west.
Yes. It does. It goes from,
Okay,
Pennsylvania goes from
State,
State to Line, and Buffalo goes from Line to Reed.
okay. But they were, the NDOT was thinking that from State all the way back was Buffalo?
Yes, you didn't have a Pennsylvania.
All right.
That's just,
Okay.
one example.
And the streets that they did not have were Eel River Manor, Hathaway Drive, Williams Way. Isn't part of Williams Way in the county?
No.
Okay, all right.
Oh,
I see.
yes, it is. Part of it is in the county. So I talked to the county and I talked to, talked with Kent. Even though the road is technically in, part of it is in the county because your county or your border goes here, you still maintain it all.
Oh, okay, okay.
So yes, it is in the county, but it's
We
in your
maintain
road inventory.
Okay, gotcha, gotcha.
The county does not take care of it or recognize it. as
First
one of
Street,
theirs.
which runs, are we talking to the east or to the west?
We are
of
talking,
State?
so that's
Or is that
East.
over off of Calhoun?
east of State between Maple and Calhoun.
Second Street, Deer Trail, is that a Deer Trail? Is that on a listing?
Yes,
Okay,
all of those streets
That's
were
really
not on
close.
your inventory.
really?
None of
Okay.
them were.
And this is just adding, correct?
It's adding and taking care of the name changes.
Okay. And so this will be resolution 4/25/23? Or 2023, 4/25?
I don't know
Okay.
what your
23,
numbers, that's what it
425.
looks like.
All right. 4/25 or 25.
And this is important in part because, at least given what the problem I have with another client, if we would go to ask for any kind of funding for repairs on any of these streets, if they don't show that we own, that we have those streets, we aren't eligible for any kind of.
And that's what brought this to our attention.
Okay.
That's what happened last.
With
Yes.
with Jaeger back
Yes.
there.
But even more than that, your annual MVH and LRS is based off the road mileage. And you were over a mile short, so that's a pretty significant number that you were losing out on. So get all that taken care of. So I will take that resolution and I will send the entire packet to NDOT tomorrow. Go ahead.
We'll take a quick vote on this.
Oh, sorry.
Uh,
Yeah, I guess you
I'll entertain a motion to approve resolution 2023-425, accepting and dedicating resolution 2023-425. All in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Opposed? Motion carried. Go ahead.
Thank you. So getting this in and everything certified to NDOT is what's going to allow us to apply for the next round of community crossings, which will come out in August. As we've talked previously, we're looking at going after the $1 million maximum. So we've got a couple of streets that we've got listed. We have been tasked, DLZ has been tasked with getting costs for those and in a couple of different ways so that we can kind of pick and choose which we want to do first. So that's our next step.
Okay.
Any other questions on the next community crossings?
Just wanna make sure we have to have that in by August, correct?
It'll be open in August. It'll probably
But we have to have this funding for 2024, right?
It will be awarded sometime late this year, but the actual construction wouldn't start until spring of '24, unfortunately. One of the other things that we've been talking a lot about that ties into community crossings is your water and lead service line.
Mhm.
So as you're aware, we did what's called a preliminary engineers report, and we did an SRF application for funding and an asset management plan for your water system. So all of that, I gave a copy to Kent and Alex to kind of review. You guys certified that this was what you thought you had. So one of the things that we were really concentrating on, we were waiting for with the community crossings, was to see what all streets needed to have water mains replaced and lead service lines replaced, so that we're not continuously tearing up a new road. So we talked about that quite a bit and how we might be able to juggle some of the funding together, timing, all of that kind of stuff, because it's all kind of convoluted.
My concern, and I think maybe I'm in the minority on this, but so can you explain a little bit about the concerns that you guys have with, I kind of say pave the roads. It would be nice if we could coordinate, but I'm afraid the can's gonna get kicked down the road. And then the downside to just paving the roads is you're gonna have a patch in the middle of the road that might settle. That's what we're trying to avoid, correct?
Well, and it's not just the patch in the middle of the road for the main, you've got all the laterals. So what we talked about doing, because SRF is gonna be like 2 years out, you don't wanna wait that long to get the roads done. So what we discussed doing was paying for the water mains and laterals on those streets that we choose to submit for community crossings with local funds that you already have in place. So we can still bid the whole project together. We just have to call those non-participating. And you actually get it a little bit cheaper because of the whole mobilization, demobilization, and you're already digging, which you can get covered with community crossings funds. We just can't cover the actual pipe.
Because we've done that in the past where we paved a street and then we found out we had some sort of water construction. And then we have laterals, we have like lines going all through the streets. And I don't think we want that. I think.
My concern is, I don't wanna wait till 27 to have roads paved.
Well, I can see your point, have a paved road or have a paved road with
I mean, at the elementary school
flats.
this morning, I thought it actually kind of helped the alley, but it's not a main road.
And some of them may not have the laterals and stuff that we're looking at. That's what we haven't had a chance to sit down and go, okay, we've got a list of roads we want to take a look at, and then we'll see what it is on the water. Now that we know where those are, needs to be replaced, and then we can kind of talk about that and how you want to fund it. So, but I think it might be a good use of leveraging some of the different funding sources that are available. So, I mean, community crossings is an excellent source of funds. So on the water side of things, the very first thing to say is that, okay, everything's been submitted. It's a very big undertaking, probably more than you'll be able to handle. But it's going to depend on what SRF it may or may not have. Currently, we have the recommendations split into two pieces, parts A and part B. Obviously, part A is smaller than we think you need to do it all together, but that's probably, out there a ways. Part A is mostly the downtown, which has your most and your oldest mains and lead service lines. Part B is starting to move further out. So there's a map in the PER that shows you where those areas are. It's something that once we know how much money there's available, we'll work out, with you. We'll get in with you. In the meantime, while we're waiting for SRF and the answers with that, there's a couple of things that we would like to talk about. The first one is the median household income in Whitley County is too high to be considered disadvantaged. And If you were disadvantaged, those are the forgivable loans that SRF is awarding.
Wasn't that very close?
It's very close. So, one of the things that we've talked to a grant administrator, and we need to call your grant administrator, you need to call your grant administrator, and talk about doing an income survey of just the area that
So
we're
we can
talking.
get like Okra funding or?
There's two different kinds, and I saw that you're over here. There's two different types of income surveys, and that's why I say you need to talk to the grant administrator about it. SRF demands like 80% or 100%.
I wanna say
It's a very high percentage, where Okra is less. Right. So either way, an income survey would help you,
Sure.
because I really believe that, you know, it's some of your outlying areas that are pushing you over that limit. It's, you know, you don't have a spread out rich area of downtown. So I think that if you did that income survey, you know, talk to your grant administrator, consider doing the income survey, you can get lower rates, you can start talking Okra, and you can maybe qualify for the forgivable loan. So that's one of the main things. The second thing with all of that that I wanted to bring to your attention is that the Indiana Finance Authority opened up a grant application cycle, and we believe that you fall into the category where you can get $15,000 to get the inventory completed and submitted to IDEM as required in October of 24. So the way that this is going to work, this grant works, you had to have over 1,000 connections, and your water audit and everything says that you do. And so you can apply, you have like 1,083 is what we determined. And so you can make this application for the Indiana Finance Authority for the $15,000. Then what you do is they actually hire the engineering firm or whoever to do the work with you. You cannot get it yourself. You can't get reimbursed for your staff or anything like that. But you'll tell them who you want to work with, and then they'll award you the grant, and you've got 6 months to get it completed. But that will make you in compliance for the 2024 deadline. So I'm asking for your permission to help us, I guess, assist you in applying for that grant, probably even this week. Just opened yesterday. Pretty sure we know everything that's in it.
That's the certified inventory grant for 15,000.
Yep.
I motion we allow DLZ to apply for the certified inventory grant for $15,000.
I'll second.
There's been a motion and a second to approve the certified
Inventory
grant
water. Yeah.
for DLZ. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried.
Thanks. We'll get that paperwork together, and I'm sure you'll have to sign something, and we'll get that submitted. So are there any other questions between community crossings and
Yeah, I have one.
water? Yes.
We had talked there a little bit. Can you educate the council and whoever wants to listen about this? I do have something else on. Go ahead.
No, go ahead.
Still plugging away with the light thing. I was able to get a photo, and then this particular photo is of a 16-inch bottom end pole rather than a 19.5. This is what it would look like minus the basket holder and the there's a thing at the top called a beauty ring that lets the light out of the top. That's not in this picture as well. So that's not exactly, but that's getting closer.
Will be better illumination than what we've got.
Yes, and the pictures would face downward. They would face downward. And the issue and the holdup is we have to kind of figure out exactly how many we need because NDOT has to approve all this stuff.
What's the difference between the 19.5 and the 16-inch? I mean, what's the?
Well, the look and then the the firmness. I mean, the thicker probably gonna have less. Well, he said that the 19.5, the thicker, bigger pole fit the current bolt pattern.
So this is just a picture of what it.
That is actually what it is. Dad gave it a designer look at the top. So I asked him to give me the designer, go back and give me the designer. He's having trouble with this NDOT. So right here, this circled picture with the beauty ring right here that lets the light through, that will be on that pole, facing downward.
So they didn't have the 19.5 available, or?
They do have the 19.5 available. John from Fort Wayne printed up the 16. When Corey went out and did some measuring, he figured out that the bolt pattern would all have to be redone on the 16s. So let's order the 19s. I think the thicker pole would look nicer anyways. So right here, the beauty ring with the thicker pole, and then what's also missing is the basket.
So the basket, the electrical outlet, and the poles for the
And we have some rough numbers.
attachment for the flags.
Oh, that's so yeah, we need to add that then too. So the flag was not on there. But
The flags and the now
You didn't think-
banners and the flags.
yeah, you didn't think the basket was going to add that much cost. So I don't know if you want to discuss numbers right now. I mean, we're not going to vote on anything because once we agree that we like that design, keep in mind, it doesn't have the beauty ring at the top. It's a 19. He's getting me another picture. Then he has to get it. I guess John and Fort Wayne's kind of getting frustrated because he's like, look, you keep asking me to do work. No funding's been provided. So we're kind of trying to move forward here. And I told Corey to take the bull by the horns and get it done.
Yeah.
I mean, his labor price is pretty cheap the way it is. So.
Yeah.
Did we find out, can we use that COVID money for this? And do you have an amount on that?
How much we have right now?
So the rough
I
estimate.
believe it's around 300.
So the rough estimate with the poles, the fixture is right around 400,000.
You said how much?
I think we have a little bit over 300, but not like
No, but
high.
now the 400,000 does not include Corey Shepherd's labor, but
That's just for the equipment.
that's for the equipment, and it's probably going to be between 400 and 415 by the time we add the baskets, your other accessories. It was capped at 415, and then somewhere between 25 and 30. That's a rough estimate, but as I say, so forgive me, there's something I'm not bringing up. This graph right here, when John, he wanted to add something like 15 poles. And
What we existing?
right, and Corey said no and explained that where you think there's no lighting, there's lighting. So he didn't quite understand where there was street lighting, like coming over, like by the mill over there. And, there's random lighting in there. So then he saw that, he got that information, and he's like, I'm trying to make that work because if we need additional poles, we're talking about boring, cement being cut up. That's a whole new ballgame. So we're trying to stick with the 52 poles.
So NDOT is the one that's saying that we need more lighting.
John added more lighting to try and appease NDOT, but didn't have what existing lighting that we already have. He has the green poles and all that on a thing, but he didn't have the normal street lights that are up on that have been there for 50 years or whatever. So now he's got that and he's trying to add that in there to make this work. And I told him at some point in time, I told Corey, I said, let me know if you want me to unleash Greg on this. He could probably get something done quicker.
I thought you knew me better than that. I could let me know when I.
Right, so
I'll
it's
be,
just
I'll
kind
be
of,
your Kraken.
it's kind of, yes, Andy.
those poles that you have designated, are any of those down Market Street?
Somewhere, that's a whole nother thing. I'd be happy to get with
It
Kent.
doesn't bother me one way or the other.
And the new LEDs are like really bright.
That'll be cool. That might take care of all that.
The nice thing about these lights is, I know the design is, I mean, it's kind of cool. It droops downward. The existing is kind of a mushroom that goes up into the sky.
All I know is I've re-outfitted my entire shop with LEDs. Huge difference. In the
Right.
bill.
And it will,
I can't imagine when it's gonna be down. It's gonna stay
so he's on it.
the same. Should pay
He
for
came to the
itself.
house today. I guess, do we agree with this, with the beauty ring at the top? Or with this?
Yeah, I'm fine with the beauty ring.
If
As
you
long
wanna,
as there's attachments for the flag, for the banners, for the baskets.
if you wanted to change back to the non-curve where it was a straight bar and came down, that was an option as well.
Yeah, that was the original one we looked at, wasn't it?
Yes, it's just, to me, we're going with the 19s, I want a 19. I don't wanna look at I don't wanna look at a 14, I wanna look at a 19, so,
Oh, I agree.
and it's something we're gonna spend a lot of money on. It's just kinda works out.
Okay.
Between 4 and 415 is the number, minus his labor. And the 4 and 415 would include the basket, and I'm assuming the flag holder as well. That is it for that. Yes,
Does that also include the optional outlet on the pole?
yes, there's
Okay.
gonna be an outlet on the pole.
That'll be awesome. Christmas decorations.
Absolutely, there'll be an outlet.
Festival issues and stuff like that. That'd be awesome.
But I couldn't remember if there was some discussion about whether we're having 2 plugs or 1. I don't
I
remember.
think it was one plug, but it was gonna be separated, 2 runs on all the time, and like one of them is.
You're welcome to give him a call too, Randy or John, if you guys wanna. Maybe you'll pick up something from him, I doubt. Foggy sometimes.
Anything else?
That is it.
John, do you have anything else?
No. I do have one more thing. Sorry. Has anybody contacted we're kind of handling the vendor thing in-house this year.
Yes.
Okay, has anyone contacted United Methodist to see if they want to do sausages? No, I know that
They just had a major
I know they're getting old.
change.
Right,
So they might be still really.
okay.
I know, I talked to Jason Spencer because Columbia City Lions comes down every year and does sausages, and they are not coming down this year because they are having problems finding people to work there.
We do have Brick Oven coming this
Yeah, he starts.
He's already
He's
had
open tomorrow.
year. And
Mhm.
I just think
He starts tomorrow.
the porta potties are very important because whatever happened last year. Let that happen again. I mean, everybody's fault, whatever, just a miscommunication thing, but I had several calls on the pisser, but no one could go, so. That is it.
Okay.
I have the invoice for the sales for the Pocket Park.
Oh,
They have been ordered. You can read it. He faxed it. He
What
got,
colors did we go with?
I have no idea.
Okay.
I just have the price. Kent told me to show this to you. I don't know. It's hard to read.
That is true.
I tried to fill in the numbers that I
It
could
was
see.
faxed?
I think he got a fax and then copied it, emailed it to me. So it's like a copy of a copy of a copy.
What is this?
It's really bad. But Kent has the original, he just couldn't come, so he sent it
where's Innovative Metal Works out of?
here, the local place.
Justin Colburn back at the.
So he's installing these?
They're producing the poles, making the poles. Town will install the poles. And then we'll have the sails that will go up during the summer, come down in the winter. I assume they'll come down in the winter.
My assumption.
So this is strictly for the poles?
Poles.
Seems a little high.
About half of what the sail people.
Really?
Yeah.
Am I wrong that that was gonna be the more expensive part?
Yeah.
Yeah, the sales themselves aren't that
I was just thinking we're getting 25 street poles for under 25,000. This is,
Those are steel, aren't they? These are steel poles, aren't they?
Yeah.
The ones you're talking about from Memphis.
and these are cheaper than the other one, huh? Okay. As long as it looks good. Huh?
What used to be
Oh, I must be.
is no more.
Hey, if they're cheaper, that's fine.
Okay, next. You got anything?
Nope, done.
I don't believe you, but public input. Yes, sir.
Just one thing, and Mr. Watterson was in on this conversation with Mr. Baldridge. Baldridge. Evidently, the project going in on 14, and I'm speaking completely blind here. But I thought it should be brought up. They dropped a ginormous drain right in front of his front steps. Is
So
evidently awkward.
let's get Alex and Kent to look at that and see what they think. And report back because
Frank's not usually one to complain.
Yeah.
It sounded awkward, didn't it?
it looked pretty big.
Did you go look at it?
Just kind of saw a picture of it.
I have.
Oh, okay. So
The
Ms.
biggest
Manning-
problem I think we're gonna find is it's NDOT and it's a state funded project.
Have you seen it, Alan?
I haven't, but they're not gonna change it.
Is it like by his front steps?
Just right up. Right there.
It doesn't,
do that?
that doesn't seem
I
right.
haven't seen it, so I don't know. Now, I don't know if they're gonna be more, when they finish it up, if it'll be more smooth, I don't, I've seen, I noticed when I went to Fort Wayne, after he showed me that one at his house. I noticed if you look on 14, there's a few of those, and the way they've got it finished and smooth, it kind of flows with everything. I'm guessing that's what they're gonna do. I just know with this
Take a look
roads and everything else that I've dealt with on the police side, the public safety side of this project, and that's not changing anything.
Well, just, I mean, as long as it's right, is it, if it's that close to it. Just take a look at it and see what you and Kent think and go from there.
One more piece of public input. Thank you to the town council and Mr. Van Devener and Kent and Alex, whoever, for opening up Lime Street. That is huge to me.
That's
I'm
huge
sure
to
it is
everybody.
Other people also. That
Especially
is
Mr.
a
Boardman.
Huge
Yeah.
plus. Huge plus.
Now, I'm not sure how long it's gonna stay open.
I understand that, but temporarily.
For now, it works.
That is
works
a
well.
huge plus to me.
I have an observation, back to track. Big F-150 parked there. I drove around the cemetery, stopped, got out, moved the barrel, took the tape down, pulled through and put it all back. I don't know why he did out the highway, but he had no problems about moving everything.
Who did that?
I don't know,
Oh.
it's a big F-150 white pickup. I think he had been parked at the school. This was
On the weekend, we move those barrels about 10 times a day.
This was on a Saturday or Sunday, probably Saturday morning.
I did see, was it a big white pickup truck?
Yes.
So Jim Yeager drives a big white pickup truck.
Oh. Was it? Jim.
Jim's is a mini truck now.
Canyon.
Yeah.
Well, this is a full-size F-150.
But he put everything back.
They normally don't.
Yeah, they
I know
made
Sorry,
the
Jim.
effort. It was-
One thing I do wanna
Take
know
down and everything.
on the
I'll throw that
whole
out
deal,
there.
on on the whole deal with the NDOT and everything else, in their defense, those guys have actually been pretty easy to talk to and work with.
Yeah.
They're doing what an engineer told them to do.
Plus they're working from early in the morning till pretty late in the evening. I mean, They don't-
They were
they
still
don't
working.
quit at
I
4.
just came back from a tow or whatever. I just came through there and they were working just a few minutes before I walked in this door.
I just want to note that so it's public, because they're catching a lot of slack.
Yeah,
And
But-
those guys are actually, they gotta go by what their engineer tells them to do.
and once it's done, it'll be a wonderful project for the town, and it'll make it look better. It'll give us a little more parking space, better sidewalks. We just have to put up with the mess for a while.
That's right.
I just want to say a big thank you for opening up Lion Street. That was huge.
Yep.
Huge. I think it's huge to more than just me.
Oh, I'm sure. Anybody else?
I've had several people ask me about State Street.
Yeah, Brent's trying to figure out what he wants to do with the buildings. He's trying to figure out a plan moving forward. I'm not gonna lie, he's wrestling with what direction to go before he dumps so much money into it. Kind of a work in progress.
Well, I'll be talking to him on Saturday or on Friday, so. Hopefully we'll have more to report next week. Okay. Dave,
Okay. I talked with Alicia because the fencing bill has come due.
Mhm.
And did I get it right? Do we have 11,363? Okay, did that include the Whitley County and the 2,000 from the attorney?
I believe so, yes.
Okay, so that's gonna, the bill, if we have $11,363 left, the fencing was $10,575. So, that will have to be paid, and so I'm gonna ask for appropriations of $5,000 to be put in the park board, the park account for the rest of the summer.
Okay.
And then we do have our fundraiser for Fall Festival scheduled, and I'm hoping to make another $2,000, if not $4,000 off of that this fall.
yeah, because they expect probably like 200 people, 200 teams
Yeah.
this year instead
Yeah.
of 100.
Yeah.
So I just want to add in, and I'm speaking strictly for myself. I'm all about park programs. So if you have stuff you want to do, let's get her going.
Okay.
I think that's the thing.
Yeah,
to do.
I'm all for putting money to the parks too, because parks draw people, and people moving into town spend
If you
money.
need money,
People
ask.
spend money at local stores, and so yeah, trails, parks.
Will you be fixing the streets down here in the park, down there, where you're playing?
Is it really bad down there? Like, is there potholes down there? I'll talk
Behind the
to,
VFW, it's pretty rough, yeah.
Yeah, and I think the thing on that was about the floodplain and the materials we'd have to use. Something like that,
Yeah,
okay?
because it floods a lot.
Can we have our
Yeah.
town guys throw some patch in there for now?
It's got patch, but that's the problem, it's full of patch.
Oh, okay. So who would pay for that repaving down there?
So, yeah.
And Jody, I know you've kind of talked, keep bringing up the parks and the trails, and is there something we could do for the paving down there through the LZ or?
So I don't know that you necessarily want. Are you talking about the construction of it?
It just needs to be tidied up. It
Yeah,
doesn't
I don't
need to
think
be
so.
Okay.
overpaved.
Well,
Keep it smooth and.
I realize it's being held together with patch, but maybe we need to repatch it for now.
So when I was in Muncie, there was a guy who was there from Natural Resources who talked about all this money that they have for park and recreational things. The biggest thing that we funding is we have to have a 5-year park plan. And to do any of that, we have to have that. We can't even apply without that. So that
Do assistant funding for
they do.
Actually, I don't know if they do that. I thought they don't do that.
I think it's a reimbursement for the plan. I think you have to do it in advance, pay for it, and then
So like, do we have to make the plan?
you have to make the plan.
That is something DLC does. In fact, I have an example of a small community car.
So perhaps we should look at a 5-year park plan at some point, so.
Yeah, cause that would help you get some more funding to get some more projects and stuff going on, so I just.
And then I got the bill from the master gardeners for $400 for this year to pay them to take care of that. So, one of the police officers, Tim Johnson called me about, wanting to run another tournament to maybe help fund the.
That's for him.
Okay,
That's
for
for him.
yeah. Well, I can't do that. I really don't think we have room for a tournament this year. But next year I want to run a seniors tournament over a garage sale weekend. So that gives me time to do that. And in the spring, when we do that tournament, we could use the money for the K-9 and also I thought for the fall festival. Can we? I mean, if we have a fundraiser for that, we can give money to the fall festival for that, right, Randy? Okay. And the difference in the two tournaments would be in the fall, it's for any age. In the spring, the tournament would be for seniors, which means it's always 2 players, and those 2 players' ages have to equal or above 120 years old. Because what happens so many times is guys my age, I won't pay the money to play in a tournament where there's these 30-year-olds and I'm gonna get whipped and out in 2 games. Where if I play in a seniors tournament, it's gonna be a lot of 70 and 50-year-olds.
So it's a minimum of 120 years?
Yes.
Combined.
So a couple of
It's fine.
60-year-olds or a 50 and a 70-year-old, yeah.
Right.
Not just, you don't have to be 125 years old.
And if you see the folks that play down here, that's who we have, is the seniors playing.
So you can go 80 and 40 if you want to?
Sure.
Oh, really?
I'd prefer like 90, 30.
Oh, no, your stepdad's out there. Randy gets out there.
So that's my pickleball plan for for this fall, for paying for some more park stuff. Next year, having 2, one in the spring for the K-9 project for the fall festival, and then again in the fall for the park board. I do also have a banner getting ready, a windscreen that'll have all the different clubs or organizations that donated. Town of South Whitley, it'll have your design,
The logo.
logo. It'll have the South Whitley logo, the South Whitley Parks logo, the Whitley County Community Foundation logo, and the South Whitley Community Foundation logo. So that'll be, thanks to these groups, that'll be something I'm getting on order. And then lastly we had some damage on the basketball goal, and that was taken care of by the cameras that are down there and was put on Facebook, and that problem's been taken care of. So we'll get a back order to replace down there for one of the courts.
Have more than that.
Okay.
All right. Let's take a motion to approve, approval of $400 for the master gardener.
So move.
Motion and a second to approve $400 for the master gardener. All those in favor signify by saying aye. Opposed? Motion carried.
Okay. And then a motion to.
Oh, yes.
To transfer 5,000 for our operating for the rest of the year.
I motion we give the park board $5,000 for operating costs.
Okay. There's been a motion and a second to approve $5,000 to the park department.
Problem with the barber shop.
No, not a bit. No problem.
Okay. Thank you. That's all I have.
All right. Thanks, Dave. All right, Michael.
First thing is I just wanted to publicly thank the public. The damage part, we put that on Facebook this morning after, first of all, the camera system that was installed was able to get good, decent pictures of the people. Beautiful picture of the license plate. By that camera system is how I got that.
Is that a
video.
newer camera system down there now?
Just one was just put in last year.
Okay.
By that camera system is when I was able to get going with something on this, then we put it on Facebook. I looked at my phone before I came in here. I literally had 95 phone calls today. That is people that know me personally. And dispatch got a lot, I'll put it that way. Because they are calling me, what do we do? But I just wanted to thank the public. It is solved.
Good.
It's done.
What did they do? Force
They
number?
broke the backboard on one of the basketball courts. I think I'll need more details for the film.
Okay.
So I just wanted to public thank everybody. And then the other thing is just so everybody's aware and you start seeing it on our Facebook page, June 3rd, there's gonna be a breakfast. This is a fundraiser for the canine program. Gage is doing a really good job trying to keep that self-funded. So we're gonna do a pancake sausage, right? Yeah.
Where?
We're gonna be at the fire station.
Yeah, it's gonna be the fire station, 7 to 11 a.m. or until we run out. So talking with Officer Lysett, we both agreed just in there, text message that we're thinking about getting 75 pounds of sausage, which is 300 patties. And we're gonna get pancakes as well, get boxes of that. So we'll be there from 7 to 11.
Question for either
Go ahead.
Mr. Van Deveter or Gage. What kind of funding do you need for your dog?
So basically, so obviously, numbers, I don't have any numbers wise.
Okay.
All I'm trying to do is keep enough money in there, so if anything, if we need anything, like, right now I'm looking at getting VSD boxes for narcotics training. That's $800 for that. A bite suit, to help with apprehension training, that's another $1,500 on top of medical costs, anything like that. If I need anything, leashes, collars, anything, just to have the money there, if anything needs to happen to the truck.
Just for general purposes.
Yeah.
We shoot for the 5,000, the 5K mark, we're probably getting close to where you need to be.
I don't wanna set a number on it, just
I understand.
because I don't wanna, hey, we've got $5,000 and let's stop there. I just wanna always have money, enough money in that account, so that way I'm not having to come to Michael and saying, hey, we need money for this, we need money for that, and asking for the town.
I'm
I'd
just
like to
asking
be-
from a business perspective, because, we've been thinking about a couple different little promotions, different things we can do. This might be one of them, you know, if we could put something together.
Yeah,
Give
and
us a goal to shoot for, you know, and maybe we could help.
yeah, and we've still got the 501(c)(3) through the community foundation as well. So any businesses that want to donate to the program, it's tax exempt if you go through the Whitley County Community Foundation. But yeah, I'm trying to make the canine program myself, since it is the department and it's separate from Jake. I'm trying to keep that as self-sufficient as possible, so that way we're not having to come to the town for any money. And that way, if we need anything, there's no questions, we can order it to better the dog.
Which Gage did a fantastic job on this too. There's some other fundraisers coming up in the next, say, year.
Yeah, we're talking about, doing a fishing tournament. That can raise a lot of money. I talked to a director, who puts on fishing tournaments. He's all in on it. We're just trying to set a time and date, everything like that. So what I plan on doing is having a couple fundraisers per year, so that way we can just keep the flow coming. Cause nothing with a dog is unexpensive. It's all expensive, but, I guess I want to be able to keep it self-sustained and not have any further issues or have, anybody second guess what the program is about or have any second thoughts on it.
You have to pay a fee when you go out of the.
Currently, we do not, but they're talking about maybe.
Well, Allen County is $120 a year.
So they've added it.
So it's like a membership.
Yeah, yeah.
Okay, okay.
And so it's
It's
just
free
little
lunch.
things like, the data system that we use for all the dogs' records, that's, I think, $140 a year. the backtrack system. So it's just kind of little things that add up, and it's, yep. So I myself have paid a lot out of pocket, just so I'm not having to come to Michael or do anything like that. Because the last thing I want to do is get the program started and then constantly say, hey, we need money for this, we need money for that. That's why I want to do the fundraiser, so that way there is no, hey, we need this, it's, we've got the money and we're gonna use
I
that.
think it's pretty awesome that a small town like us with one stoplight actually has a canine.
Yeah.
Actually, I was doing some research on it, and it's actually a lot more common than I thought it was.
Really? Town our size to have.
Actually,
training
it's smaller
canine?
than us with canines, because they're, to us looking at them as humans, it's an expense. But to Alyssa, look at the price of a human police officer compared to a price of a four-legged canine, it's a lot cheaper.
They can
Yeah.
do things that human can't.
She's a heck of a lot cheaper.
Exactly, that's why a lot of people are going
They
that
can do a
route.
lot of things.
Doesn't
that
have a
humans
401k.
can't.
Well, she doesn't go to perf, she doesn't pay taxes.
I think it's a huge plus.
And she's already, I've been on the road since a week now. I've already got her, she's alerted on vehicles before, so it's shown that the training is helping and the training was a success and she's doing her job. So that's the whole reason that we wanted to start the program, was to further narcotics getting off to our streets in the town. And like I said, within the few, well, not few, quite a few traffic stops that I made already, she's already alerted on vehicles, and we're doing, I feel that once summer comes up, that she's gonna be a lot busier, so.
Yeah, I saw your truck.
What's that?
I saw your truck the other night. We typically go by here at about 11, 12 o'clock at night when we're going home from the shop. Truck looks good.
Thank you. Yep, that's one thing too that we
Very impressive.
wanted to,
Another thing that the plus to our small town.
yeah, we wanted to definitely have it stand out, know that it's a canine unit, and then have something that I've never seen that before, so that's where we worked with people and designed that.
Something to be proud of.
Yep, thank you.
Okay. I skipped over Kent. Does
Thank
anybody
you,
have
Edge.
anything for Kent?
I just have something for you, but then he also said that this is gonna be a topic that's coming up soon. The South Whitley sign fell down during a storm.
Was it a storm or was it an accident?
I don't know.
It was
He
a
just
windstorm,
printed
I was working
pictures
that
out for me.
Okay.
He said it's pretty much damaged beyond repair. He doesn't know if it would cost more just to get a new one, or if it would be beneficial to fix this one. So it's just something he said is probably gonna come up in the future, and that was his.
That was probably fabricated by Johnson Sign Company.
What about a second
Yeah, it
digital
looks pretty
sign?
bad.
It coordinates with the other one. You know,
It probably was, but what they
Yeah.
looks like 80s.
Someone say,
Friendly and progressive community, no,
This is-
this
this is the
replaced
this is the
this
newer version.
Indiana's favorite hometown. This
Oh, okay.
replaced friendly and progressive.
Gotcha.
But I knew where you were
Friendly and
going.
I believe that was actually the nineties.
That was his thing.
The sign into, yes, into South Whitley used to say South Whitley, a friendly and progressive community.
So, I don't know.
Visit
if
our
you guys
library.
want those.
Visit our library, yes,
Yes.
but that's been several years ago.
I'm pretty sure I was in high school. I was put in.
That's a heavy duty sign. Okay. Greg?
Well, I guess I got Karen here and Brock here, still trying to set up that joint executive session between you guys and the RDC. I'm gonna start, Randy had kind of tossed out, I thought, we tried to run it in conjunction with the one on Thursday, didn't get enough takers on that. So I'll check and see.
Oh.
So, because that, part of it is to try to get some numbers and ways to finance things. So that's all I have.
You said ways to finance things. I did talk to Todd Liebarger, our local commercial lender.
Mhm.
He does ag and commercial lending, and I was talking to him about a different loan, and I actually he said he would be happy to look into funding ways.
Well, and that's, the Chrome people aren't funders, they're just accountants. And they will actually help us stay on the straight and narrow in terms of what we're able to, because if we go to a private lender, we have to bid those out.
Okay.
They have to be competitive.
Okay.
So, but that's why I wanted to get them. here.
Steve takes a look at all of our numbers and says, yes, you can afford this, yes.
Yep.
Steve who?
Carter.
Steve Carter.
Steve Carter.
Okay.
Okay,
Just to let you know, he weighed in and
Oh, there is?
Yeah.
Okay, thank you.
hold on a sec.
So tomorrow, we are having quite the delivery. We have 10 new file cabinets coming from Heinen Printing. They were the cheapest, and believe me, I looked. So we are starting the document destroy process, and I'm very excited. But on that note, we've also been talking about updating the office a little bit. I know you talked about maybe even doing the council room. But we just think maybe like a fresh coat of paint, maybe a different color, changing out the carpet, just trying to make it look a little bit more modern and classic. So I'm getting some quotes and stuff on that. I do have a picture of the idea of kind of what we're going for. I have a flooring guy that I've been in contact with, and he said that the wood flooring that we kind of wanted to lean towards doing, because it would be easier to clean and maintain. But with all the traffic we have going in and out, and our chairs, the rolling chairs, it wouldn't last very long. So now we're leaning more towards sticking to the commercial carpet or doing something like the squares that they have in the police station. So he's gonna get me some quotes, and once I have a quote from him, I'm gonna be able to go and see if I can get quotes from anybody else. So just to let you know, that's kind of what we're.
Okay,
So who would be doing the painting?
Right now, me, Jenna, and Braylon said that we would take a day and do it. But I know you talked about even like drywalling the conference room and stuff,
yeah, I'm not sure when this room was done, but it's a classic look.
The paneling has been here ever since I have, so that's at least 30 years. Those got replaced when Judy Earnhardt was on the board. I remember the purple vertical blinds. What? Is it
02 was the year I started.
Okay, and those were replaced then? Okay.
Yes.
Okay, so those have been on
20
18.
21 years.
Yes, 21 years.
so. Yeah, the
think the-
carpet in here is not bad.
And the carpet was replaced at
in
the same
clerk's
time, that small office too.
is pretty stained and really gross, and
Yeah.
you can, I've actually moved my desk from where Pam Hoffman was sitting, and there's a perfect circle from where her chair was always rolling every day. And it needs.
And also,
Plus, there's like a little lump somewhere.
Yes, and that was
between the
another
old section
reason.
and the new section.
Yes, that is a reason we've also steered away from the hardwood, because that would be a huge cost trying to flatten the cement and carpet. You just kind of ignore it and lay it over it. So it's like, let's go that way.
regardless of what you do, you need to keep the cats out. Like the rest.
We're gonna have a conversation. Oh. Okay.
That was all.
All right. I'll seek a motion for approval of the meeting minutes for April 11th.
Are you gonna, are you doing a motion on this filing cabinet?
Yeah, because they had it in there.
Okay.
Yeah, it's under
Okay, sorry, go ahead.
certain amounts. I just wanted to see.
Okay.
I make a motion to approve
Okay.
the minutes.
I second.
There's been a motion and a second to approve regular meeting minutes for April 11th. All in favor, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, and motion carried. All right, take a motion to approve claims. totaling $182,018.72.
So moved.
Second.
A motion and a second to approve claims, $182,018.72. All in favor signify by saying aye. Opposed, motion carried.
No, he's fast today. You read the agenda.
You think I was slow the other?
No, you just read the agenda today.
Yeah, I did. Okay. Let's take a motion to approve payroll week ending April 17th, $11,186.84.
So moved.
Oh, second.
For the motion and second to approve payroll week ending April 17th, $11,186.84. All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. Opposed, motion carried.
For today.
Okay. Oh, okay. All right, entertain a motion to approve payroll week ending April 24th, $10,146.70.
So moved.
Motion is, motion and second to approve payroll week ending April 24th, $10,146.70. All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? Motion carried. Okay, anything else needs to come before council? All right, meeting adjourned.
Yeah.
So I actually have some flyers on some of our updated programs. I wanted to provide you all with
Bye, Karen.
today
Bye, Karen.
as well.